He's inviting us to celebrate God's purposeful design to protect and direct his team through godly servant leaders. God's handpicked certain leaders to play the sacrificial role, the servant leader role, to protect and direct his people. Jesus chose these 12 men, and he called them, he chose them, he designated them for leadership in his movement. And let me tell you, Jesus demonstrated it perfectly when he got down and washed his disciples' feet, when he served them sacrificially, when he ultimately gave his life on the cross, and he's inviting leaders inside of his church to embrace the same kind of role. This was the pattern that Jesus set in this moment to handpick 12 people who would go on to lead the church, that the early church did every single time they established a brand new church. In Acts chapter 14:23, it says, Paul and Barnabas, who were missionaries to spread the word of God all over the Mediterranean world, this is what they did. They didn't just raise up churches. Paul and Barnabas appointed elders for them in each of the churches, with prayer and fasting, committing them to the Lord in whom they put their trust. When they established the churches, they also raised up leaders, overseers. That's what elder means. It's not necessarily age. What it means is these are guys that have been handpicked by God to be able to embrace the sacrificial leadership role to oversee the church. And then God's design was always a plurality. It was always collectively together, that there would never be one person who had oversight of the whole church. Let me tell you, one of the reasons I think that God has continued to bless our church is because that's never been who we've been from the very beginning. That's why we had an external board of directors. These guys had intimate access into my life, into budgets, overseeing vision, direction, accountability, setting procedures, bylaws, you name it. The amazing thing, though, was the design of that was never that would be the full extent of our leadership. It would always translate into developing guys from within who can help lead this church.